നമോ ഭഗവതേ വാസുദേവായ. ഓം നമോ ഭഗവതേ വാസുദേവായ.
ഓം നമോ ഭഗവതേ വാസുദേവായ.
ഓം നമോ ഭഗവതേ വാസുദേവായ.
ഓം നമോ ഭഗവതേ വാസുദേവായ.
നാരായണം നമസ്കൃത്യം
നാരായണം നമസ്കൃത്യം
നരം ചൈവ നരോത്തമം
നരം ചൈവ നരോത്തമം
ദേവീം സരസ്വതിം വ്യാസം
ദേവീം സരസ്വതിം വ്യാസം
തതോ ജയമുദീരയേ.
തതോ ജയമുദീരയേ.
നഷ്ടപ്രായേഷു അഭദ്രേഷു
നഷ്ടപ്രായേഷു അഭദ്രേഷു
നിത്യം ഭാഗവത സേവയാ.
നിത്യം ഭാഗവത സേവയാ.
ഭഗവതി ഉത്തമ ശ്ലോകേ
ഭഗവതി ഉത്തമ ശ്ലോകേ
ഭക്തിർഭവതി നൈഷ്ഠികീം.
ഭക്തിർഭവതി നൈഷ്ഠികീം.
ഓം അജ്ഞാനതിമിരന്തസ്യ ജ്ഞാനാഞ്ജനശലാകയ ചക്ഷുരുന്മിലിതം യേന തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരവേ നമഃ. ശ്രീചൈതന്യമനോഭീഷ്ടം സ്ഥാപിതം യേന ഭൂതലേ സ്വയം രൂപകഥാ മഹ്യം ദദാതി സ്വപദാന്തികം. വന്ദേഹം ശ്രീഗുരും ശ്രീയുതപദകമലം ശ്രീഗുരും വൈഷ്ണവാംശ്ച ശ്രീരൂപം സാഗ്രജാതം സഹഗണ രഘുനാഥാനിധം ത്വം സജീവം സാദ്വൈതം സാവധൂതം പരിജനസഹിതം ശ്രീകൃഷ്ണ ചൈതന്യദേവം ശ്രീരാധാ കൃഷ്ണപാദാൻ സഹഗണലളിതാം ശ്രീവിശാഖാനിധാംശ്ച. ഹേ കൃഷ്ണ കരുണാ സിന്ധു ദീനബന്ധു ജഗത്പദേ ഗോപേശ ഗോപികാ കാന്ത രാധാ കാന്ത നമോസ്തുതേ. തപ്ത കാഞ്ചന ഗൗരാംഗീ രാധേ വൃന്ദാവനേശ്വരി വൃഷഭാനോ സുതേ ദേവി പ്രണമാമി ഹരിപ്രിയേ. വാഞ്ചാ കൽപതരൂപസ്യ കൃപാ സിന്ധുഭ്യേവ ച പതിതാനാം പാവനേഭ്യോ വൈഷ്ണവേഭ്യോ നമോ നമഃ. ജയ ശ്രീകൃഷ്ണ ചൈതന്യ പ്രഭു നിത്യാനന്ദ ശ്രീ അദ്വൈത ഗദാധാര ശ്രീവാസാദി ഗൗരഭക്തവൃന്ദ. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ 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 ഹരേ 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 രാമ 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 ഹരേ ഹരേ. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ 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 ഹരേ 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 രാമ 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 ഹരേ ഹരേ. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ 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 ഹരേ 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 രാമ 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 ഹരേ ഹരേ. ഓം സഹനാ ഭവതു സഹനൗ ഭുനക്തും സഹ വീര്യം കരവാവഹൈ തേജസ്വിനാമതീതമസ്തു മാ വിദ്വിഷാവഹൈ. ഓം ശാന്തി ശാന്തി ശാന്തി. ഹരി ഓം തത്സത്. Also, I will recite the first two verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the essence of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. First verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadyasya yado anyayadidaraschattve savijjaswarat. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adigave Muhyandhiya Suryaha. Tejo Vari Muda Yada Vinimayo Yatra Sargo Amrusha. Damna Svena Sada Nirastagogham Satyam Param Dhimahi. Translation. O my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge under the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we'll take the last verse of this chapter, questions by Vidura, third canto, first chapter, and the last verse, 45th verse, we'll be covering today. So here we can see that just a context. Mahatma Vidura was traveling as a pilgrim throughout the Bharatvarsha, Dwaraka, Madhura, and Jangal, and various pilgrimage places, and traveling alone in disguise of, even in the case of as a mendicant, because of he was not cared for, combing his hair or the beard or the dress or sleeping wherever it is. So nobody noticed as this is Vidura, because of he's completely transformed to as a pure devotee, as a pilgrim. So then, going various places and taking baths in the holy river every day, and completely focused upon the Supreme Lord, completely focused upon. And that's the time Mahatma Vidura came to the banks of Yamuna. And Mahatma Vidura was traveling to all the holy places. And there Mahatma Vidura met with Uddhava. They embraced each other and they shed the tears of the joy. Mahatma Vidura was inquiring from Uddhava about the well-beings of all the close relatives and associates of Uddhava and then Pandavas. And then we came to the point where Mahatma Vidura was remembering the Lord's mercy. And Mahatma Vidura even remembering that even I can remember the Lord by the mercy of the Lord only. So Mahatma Vidura was revealing through the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sukadeva Goswami repeating the same, that only by the mercy of the Lord that we can remember the Lord. So it's very important that if anybody is in the devotional service of the Lord, is nothing but the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Unless and until we have the mercy of the Lord, we cannot even do anything in the service of the Lord. So we need to have the mercy of the Lord's and his devotees in order to progress in the path of bhakti. So it's always remember this. So what we should do in order to do that, we should always take a shelter of the Supreme Lord and his devotees in order to perform the devotional service or in progress in the path of bhakti. What does that mean by devotional service? Mean by engaging in the loving devotional service to the Lord, engaging in relationship with the Lord. We are establishing a relationship with the Lord in the mood of a das, as a servant. As we all know that we are the eternal servants of the Lord. We are not independent. We are eternally part and parcel of the Lord. So our eternal duty, Param Dharma. Param Dharma is the supreme, occupational duty, or Param Dharma, supreme duty, is to engaging in the loving devotional service. That means if anybody is in the service of the Lord, that means they are in the relationship with the Lord, as a dasa or a sakya, as a valsalya, in a different relationship or rasa that we can have with the Lord. So it's very important that Mahatma Vidura is revealing here that aspects of that only by the mercy of the Lord we can even remember the Lord. So then in the last verse in this chapter, Mahatma Vidura is very clearly, very exclusively mentioning about how the Lord protect his devotees. So that's where we are going to cover today. And I will recite the verse and then go through the translation purport of Srila Prabhupada. Tasya prabhannakhila lokapanam avastidam anusasane swe arthaya jadasya yadu swajasya vartam sage kirtaya tirtha kirte tasya prabhannakhila lokapanam avasthidanam anushasane swe arthaya jadasya yadaswajasya vartam sage kirtaya tirtha kirte. Tasya prabanna khila lokapanam avastidam anusasane swe artaya jadasya yadusajasya vartham sakhe kirtaya tirtha kirte. Synonyms: Tasya, his, Prabhanna, surrendered, Agila Lokapanam, all rulers of the entire universe, Avasthidanam, situated in, Anushasane, under the control of, sway, on 12, Arthaya, for the interest of, Jadasya, of the born, Yadusu, in the family of Yadus, Ajasya, of the unborn, Vartham, topics, Sakhe, O my friend, Kirtaya, please narrate, Tirtha Kirte, of the Lord whose glories are chanted in the place of pilgrimage. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: O my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the places of pilgrimage. He is unborn, and yet he appears by his causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did he appear in the family of his unalloyed devotees, the Yadus. Purport: there are innumerable rulers all over the universe in the different varieties of planets, the sun god in the sun planet, the moon god in the moon planet, Indra in the heavenly planet, Vayu, Varuna, and those in the Brahmaloka planet, where Lord Brahma is living. All are obedient servants of the Lord. Whenever there is any trouble in the administration of the innumerable planets in different universes, the rulers pray for an appearance, and the Lord appears. The Bhagavatam 1.3.28 has already confirmed this in the following verse. Ede chamsha kala pumsha krishnastu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakulam loke mridiyandi yuge yuge. In every millennium, whenever there is any trouble for the obedient rulers, the Lord appears. He also appears for the sake of his pure unalloyed devotees. The surrendered rulers and the pure devotees are always strictly under the control of the Lord, and they are never disobedient to the desires of the Lord. The Lord is therefore always attentive to them. The purpose of pilgrimage is to remember the Lord constantly, and therefore the Lord is known as Tirtha Kirti. The Lord's purpose of going to a place of pilgrimage is to get the chance to glorify the Lord. Even today, although time have changed, there are still pilgrimage sites in India. For example, in Mathura and Vrindavana, where we had a chance to stay. People are awake from early in the morning at 4 a.m. up until night time and are constantly engaged somewhere or other in chanting the holy glories of the Lord. The beauty of such pilgrimage site is that automatically one remembers the holy glories of the Lord. His name, fame, quality, form, pastimes, and entourage are all identical to the Lord. And therefore, chanting the glories of the Lord invoke the personal presence of the Lord. Anytime or anywhere pure devotees meet and chant the glories of the Lord is present without any doubt. It is said by the Lord himself that he always stays where his pure devotees chant his glories. Om Nagyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishna Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Thus the end of Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by Vidura. Dear devotees, this is a very powerful verse that we can always remember the Supreme Lord's glory and how the Lord protects his devotees. So Mahatma Vidura is very exclusively proclaiming to Uddhava that, oh my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the places of pilgrimage. And this is also to the general populace. He is unborn, and yet he appears by his causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did he appear in the family of his unalloyed devotees of the Yadus. So the devotees, this is the most important that to understand, that the Supreme Lord is always there to protect his unalloyed devotees. And we know that from the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord take birth in his devotees' families. So in this case, Mahatma Vidura is recollecting that Lord took birth in the Yadu family of Yadus. Yadavas or Yadus were the pure devotees of the Lord. And also most of the Yadus are even the various incarnations of the Lord, various forms of the Lord. And so many demigods appeared on this planet in the family of Yadus. Various devotees appeared in the family of Yadus. And we know that even when Lord Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan was passing through the forest, so there were, in those Treda Yuga, there were so many sages. They were worshipping and meditating upon the Supreme Lord in the forest. And when the Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan passing through the forest, they were all attracted to the forms of the Lord, and they could understand and realize that this is none other than their Supreme Lord. They were all fascinated by the beauty of the Lord. They were all attracted to the Supreme Lord, and they were desiring that somehow or other, even though Lord Ram was little bit associated with them, they were eagerly waiting, how can I closely associate with the Supreme Lord? They were praying for it, and they were desiring for their... So the Lord always fulfilled the sincere desires of his devotees. He is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He understands the desires of his pure devotees. Uttama Sloka, he is always been glorified by the devotees of the Lord. And Lord understands this. And Lord sees the hearts of his pure devotees always. And Lord seated in the hearts of the devotees, Lord seated in the hearts of all living entities, he is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He understands the desires of his devotees, sincere, selfless desires that the sages desired that to be close association with the Lord. And then we know that all those sages were, in Dwapara Yuga, in the Sri Krishna, the Leela of the Sri Krishna, when our Supreme Lord appeared, they were all taken as various Gopas and the Gopis and various inhabitants in the Vrindavan. And that we can see that because of they have such a desire to serve the Lord. So Lord always fulfill the desires of his pure devotees. Also, here in this verse, Mahatma Vidura says that whenever the devotees are in trouble, whenever the devotees and the rulers especially, don't think that all the rulers are the bad. But this was not the time when the before of the Kali Yuga, especially that the rulers, those who rules this world, that including the demigods and the rulers on the various other planetary systems. In the purport of Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that there were rulers for each planetary systems. Like in the sun god, in the Surya planet or the sun planet, the Lord, the Vivaswan is the ruler of the sun planet, or the Surya Bhagavan. We say Surya Bhagavan, or the sun Surya, his name is Vivaswan. So, the sun god is Vivaswan was a Manu. So sun god is actually, his name is Surya, and he actually rules the sun planet. So like that, the moon planet, the moon god rules the moon planet. So like that, the ocean of the water is Varuna, rules the all over this ocean, the water in the universe. And then like that, the wind rules by the Vayu Bhagavan, and the Brahmaloka planets ruled by the Brahma. So like that, each planet, and we know that the heavenly planet is ruled by the Indra. So many times we know that the Supreme Lord is actually comes down to rescue in whenever there is a trouble, whenever there is a problem, the Lord appears to protect his devotees. In so many instances are there in the Srimad Bhagavatam that we can see through. We know that when the demon called Hayagriva, he stole the Vedas from the Brahmadev, and we know that Brahma, the creation was started, the Lord instructed, Lord imparted this Vedic knowledge. That's what it is. Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adikave Mukyandiya Surya. The Lord imparted this Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji. So then it is manifested as the four small boys, these Vedas, this Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. They personified us like a small child, like babies. And one day, in order that demons, and it's always remember that demons, those who are against the will of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada writes in one place that those who follows the will, the instructions of the Lord is considered as demigods. And but those who are against the will of the Lord, instructions of the Lord are known as the demons. So demons always wants that people to suffer. Demons always thinks that way. Demons does not think straight. They don't see the others' happiness. They always have, the demons are always thinking that somehow or other I should give the the problems and troubles to the good people so that they would suffer, and then I can enjoy, and they will follow me rather than the good. So this is the mentality of a demon in this world, and we can see that everywhere this demoniac mentality is going up, and it's growing very fast in day by day. So the demons are known as who is against the will of the Lord, instructions of the Lord. They are selfish, and they are always self-centered, and they are always wanted from the people, others too, that too they need respect from others. And if somebody don't respect, they are enemies of the world, enemies of them. And then they are accumulating everything for their own sense gratification. And if there is any impediment, any obstructions into that, they fight each other, they kill each other, and they have. So these are demons. They are demoniac people. So, like that, when the Brahma was started creation and the Vedic knowledge was spread around so that everybody lives happily and peacefully, and one always protect others, and one always well-being of all the other people, and one always expresses joy others progress, and they don't hate each other, they don't have enmity or jealousy, and they are always likes of the happiness of the others. When others are happy, we are also happy. But the demoniac mentality is that somehow I should incite the sorrow and the distress to others so that I can be happy. So these are the demoniac mentalities so that we can see in this world. So like that, this demon Hayagriva saw this, and he stole the Vedas from the Brahma and hid under, in the Patala Loka. And so then there were, Brahma was in trouble. Everybody was in trouble, and the Supreme Lord appeared. We know that the story how the Lord appeared in the form of a fish incarnation, the Malsya, the fish incarnation. So it's very beautiful to understand this, dear devotees, to goes through these various incarnations of the Lord. So Krishna says that Ede Chamse Kala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loge Murdiyandi Yuge Yuge. In order to re-establish the religious principles, Lord appears, Yuge Yuge, Mridayandi Yuge Yuge. But all these various incarnations, Ede Chamsha Kala Pumsha, Kala means Amsha, Kala, Ede Cham, Amsha, Kala. Kala means the quality and that expansions of the Lord, Kala Pumsha. Krishna's the Bhagavan, even though there are innumerable, it says that we can count the sands on the banks of ocean, but we cannot even count the incarnations, various forms of the Lord in this world. So it's innumerable. So, Achindya Guna Swarupam in the Brahma Samhita, Brahma is also glorifies the Supreme Lord with that. Premanjana Churida Bhakti Vilojanena Shanta Sadeva Hridayetsha Vilokayandi Yam Shyama Sundaram Achindya Guna Swarupam. Its guna and forms are inconceivable, that we cannot even conceive through our human, the brain, the mind. Since inconceivable, it goes beyond. So only by the mercy of the Lord, then we can understand that how it is mentioned that Brahma also says that Vedesha Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto. In order to understand this, by Bhakta can only understand this. Otherwise, Ada Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhave Na Indriya. that Sri Krishna cannot be understood by our blind or the mind or the mental concoctions or indriyas or our senses. Only when one purifies our minds and the indriyas and the senses, come to the platform of the bhakti and the devotional platform, then only we can understand or realize the Supreme Lord. So here in this case, that Lord always there come down in this planet Earth to protect his devotees. As Krishna says that, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhidhanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyaham paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya ja dushkradam dharma samstabanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever and wherever there is a decline of religious principles, so Arjuna, I descend myself on this earth to rescue the pious, to protect the pious and to annihilate the miscreants. And I descend myself millennium after millennium, yuga likes that. So millennium after millennium, yuge yuge likes that. Indrari vyakulam loge murdayandi yuge yuge. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita scriptures are all upholding this truth, this transcendental truth, that Lord appears to protect his devotees. So in this case, when the Vedas were stolen, the Lord appeared in the form of fish incarnations. Then why? There are many reasons that Lord appeared in the form of a fish incarnation. So in order to protect the Vedas and to retrieve the Vedas from the demons. So the Lord, the Haigriva went underneath subterranean planets, and there is a lot of water. So in order to penetrate through the water, Lord took the form of a fish. And then Lord killed that demon Haigriva, and then rescued the Vedas, and then gave back to Brahmas. And also another day of Brahma, another yuga, that Madhu and Kaidava also stole the Vedas, and that's why Lord killed the demon called the Madhu, and that's why Krishna is also known as the Madhusudana. Madhusudana, that means he killed the demon called the Madhu. So always the demons are always there to give troubles to his devotees, trouble to the general people, and demons are always gives that. We can see that whenever and wherever there's a trouble like that, and even in our family life, and people are those who have the demoniac qualities, they give the trouble, they make the troubles, because of the selfish nature, and to put down the others and give the troubles to the others. And these are demoniac mentality. But those who are the devotees of the Lord, they always take the shelter of the Lord. They follow the instructions of the Lord. They are in the pure consciousness or Krishna consciousness. So in that case, they always see good in others. They always do good to the others. They always think positively and good for the others. They will always indulge in the good activities so that they're free from all these kinds of demoniac qualities. So like that, then what happened when the fish incarnations, also we know that when there is a big pralaya happen. So we know that Manu, initially the Manu in the Chakshusha Manu period, the Manu was a ruler. So of this universe, that time, the Manu was a very pious king, and not like this ordinary king. They were all, even though they have everything, they led a very simple life. And this is the dear devotees. This is the symptoms of the pure devotees of the Lord. This is the nature of the pure devotees of the Lord. They will always have this simple life, even though they may have everything. Lord provides everything. Like in the case of Manu, King Manu, he has the ruler of this earth. He has everything. But every day he gets up in the morning and he does his sadhana, and he prays to the Lord. And in the usual those days, they goes to the purest place, like people goes to the pilgrimage, the holy places like that. So this Manu was one day morning going for his sadhana, praying to the Supreme Lord, and he goes to the nearby river, goes there and take bath, and then close, and then takes that the water itself and offer to the Lord as gratitude, as to shows the gratefulness to the Lord, and pray to the Lord. That time one day, this Manu was actually put water in his palm and took the water, and then he saw there is a small tiny fish And then this tiny fish started to speak that, please take me, please take me. And then Manu took this fish in his palace, in his palace. And there, the King Manu put this. This Manu is actually original Manu. That we know that the Manundara, that Manu, the Chakshusha Manu, and the Manu actually took this fish and then put it in the palace and put it in a jar. And then all of a sudden, overnight, this fish grew very big, and now there is not enough space for fish to live in that jar. Then fish requested to the king that, I'm grown like, and please take me out. I'm suffocating. Put me in a bigger place. So then Manu took out the fish and put it into a bigger pond like that, bigger jar or the pond like that. All on a sudden, again, the fish grew like anything, and then told to king that, please take me to the place where I can live, live conveniently. And then King Manu put it in a big river like that. And then this time, this fish became so grow like anything and big like a big fish. And the King Manu asked, who are you? Please reveal yourself. And then the fish revealed himself to King Manu, said that, I am your Lord. I am your Lord. You are so dear to me and you are worshipping me. I am your Lord. I am your Lord, Lord Vishnu. But see, there is a reason that I came here, that there is a big pralaya is going to happen. We know that even Manundara, the changes of Manu, and when the Yuga changes, Yugandyam Pralayam, when Yuga changes, there will be a pralaya like that. So pralaya is coming. So and I came down to rescue you. So dear devotees, this is exactly the Mahatma Vidura is saying. The Lord comes down to rescue his devotees, the rulers, those who are the pious rulers. So here, the Lord, Supreme Lord, came down to protect Manu as well. And then told Manu that the pralaya, the big flood is coming, and you should do one thing. You make an ark, big container, big vessel, and bring everybody, all the sages and the seeds of the various plants, and pure devotees and the great sages, and various types of animals and various types of living entities, and you collect everything and put it into this ark, put it into this vessel. And then when the flood comes, and then I'll be there, I'll protect you. So then, as the Lord said, there was a great, flood and the pralaya. There is a lot of water everywhere. Then with that water, and Manu instructed that's the time everybody, those who are selected for this in the ark, they were all came to this container, and that's the time the water level up, and the vessel is also, container also went up, and this is the time Lord appeared again. The fish incarnation of the Lord appeared again. And then Lord was instructed to Manu that use a rope to tie to my horn. And this is the time that Manu actually tied a big rope, a powerful rope, and tied to the the fish's horn. And then the Lord, the fish incarnation of the Lord, Malsya Avtar or Meena Sharira, Jayadev Goswami very beautifully glorifies the fish incarnation, Meena Sharira, Jaya Jagadish Hare, like that. So King Manu actually used the rope to tie to the horn and fish. The Lord actually then pulled the ship to the peak of the mountain area. That's it's brought up to the Himalaya, the peak of the mountain, the Himalaya, and they're stuck there. Actually, then there is no more rain, no more water there. Then again, the creation started. Everything started from there and into the planet Earth. And that's where the devotees and the Lord appears to protect his devotees, to rescue his devotees. And then we know that later, then Samudra Manthan, about to happen. That's also again, the Lord comes down to rescue his devotees of the demigods. Demigods very much in trouble, that when the grandson of Bali Maharaj, I forgot the name, the son of Bali Maharaj, and he was actually he was actually fighting, constant fight with the demigods and Indra. So that's where again, then they came up and Lord appeared before them, and instructed to the demigods that somehow I will help you. Do not worry. And then Indra came down and mentioned to the demons, demons that okay, there should be, let us all together and to the churn the ocean so that we get the amr, the nectar, so that we will be all mortal, and then we don't need to fight each other, and somehow convince these demons. And then they started to churn the ocean. And this is the time the ocean actually, in order to bring even the Mandara mountain, it was a mountain. It was in order to bring the ocean, the Mandara mountain to the mid of the ocean, the Lord appeared. Lord helped the Indradev and the demigods. Lord came in the form of a fish, again, like a rope and tied to the Mandara mountain, and the Lord pulled this Mandara mountain to the mid of the ocean there. And that's where actually then they started to churn the ocean. Then they used the Vasugi, the serpent, as a rope, and they actually churned together. And it was time, it was not on a pole, it was in the mid of the ocean. And every time when they pulled the ocean, the mountain was, sinking down underneath the ocean. So they couldn't do it. So Lord again appeared in the form of a kurma, right? So this is where the Lord appears to protect his devotees. Lord appeared in the form of a kurma, the tortoise. So that Lord was holding his entire mountain on the back of this, the kurma, the tortoise. And it's mentioned that Lord had a desire because he wanted to scratch he had a little itching sensation on his back. So everything has Lord is a pastime, and Lord has a leela, the pastimes happen. So in order to do that, Lord has a little, itching and sensation on his back. So now the mountain is on his back and it is actually moving. So it's even itching sensation of the kurma, the tortoise, also being fulfilled. And this is very beautiful. The Lord's pastimes should be heard like this. So then what happened? Then, there was a churning, and then the Lord comes down and, to protect that mountain, and they churned the ocean. And initially, we know that the poison came out. And today is also, yesterday and today is celebrating and observing the Mahashivaratri. And this poison is actually, it was a very severe poison. Even a drop of those poison can burn the entire air, the entire world. That's powerful it is. So this is the time that, one who takes care of this annihilation, because he has that potency. The Lord Shiva is considered as who is the predominant deity of the or the deity of the annihilation. That means one who can take care of the destructions of this world. And then he is also can also in the predominated deity of the mode of ignorance, tamoguna. So in this case, that even Lord Vishnu that mentioned that Lord Shiva can do this. When the poison came out, halal poison came out from the ocean, this is the time everybody approached to the Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva then very humbly agreed to take this task. This is a very severe task that nobody else could do this. And then, but the Supreme Lord wanted the Lord Shiva to be glorified. And the Lord Shiva came and then drank that poison and held it on his neck. That's why Lord Shiva is known as Nilakant. And this is the day as also celebrated as Shivaratri. And this is the day that, when the demons and the demigods churned the ocean, the poison came out, and Lord Shiva took it that very graciously and held it on his neck. Otherwise, the world could have been destroyed by this process, and everybody glorified the Supreme, the Lord Shiva on this day. And then devotees started to observe this day. That's called Mahashivaratri. And this is the day that Lord Shiva held this poison on his neck. Also, this is the day Lord Shiva wed Mother Parvati. And so it's also observed as a great day. And it's considered as this is the day that Lord Shiva meet with Shakti, the Parvati. That's why the great force. That's why it's mentioned that people should not sleep on this night, because of one can absorb and one can be purified, having and getting all this, the great power on this universe, on this particular. So Mahashivaratri is considered as, which is mentioned that the Trayodashi or Chaturdashi or the Magh Mas or February or Mars, the Magh Mas. Magh Mas is also very auspicious on this particular day. that Lord Shiva also meet with Shakti. That Shakti means Parvati, and there is a great force, great power, and in this on the universe. So it's said that one should not sleep on this day because of one can purify on this day by observing this and observing the fast of Lord Shiva. Also, Lord Shiva is also considered as the greatest Vaishnava, Vaishnava Nam Yada Shambhu. In the Brahma Samhita, it is revealed that Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. Lord Shiva always meditate upon the Supreme Lord. And when he comes out from that, and this is the day also that he comes out with his great power, that's why the universe will have the great power on this day. So like that is the glories of Shiva. And this is the time when they churned the ocean, the poison came, and Lord Shiva drank that and held it on his neck, and they saved the earth. So all these various forms of the Lord, even Lord Shiva is don't think that Lord Shiva is like an ordinary person. Lord Shiva is also the potency of the Lord Vishnu, and we know that when and Lord Shiva is also known as Shambhu. And at the time of creation, when the universes were there is nothing. Then there is a hue which comes out, a light comes out from the eyes of the Mahavishnu. Then it's a glance. That light is known as the Shambhu or the Lord Shiva. And then this is the potency of the Lord Vishnu is known as Lord Shiva. And that potency is actually meeting with Uma or the Parvati Devi or the Shakti. That's where the creation happened in this world. That's why in the Lord Shiva is also considered as Shambhu, or that same potency is also known as the creative potency or known as the Linga or the Supreme Lord. That's why Shivaling is very prominent and worship the Shivalinga. The reason behind what one worshipping the Shivalinga is the potency of the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu, and it causes the creation in this world. So it is considered as very, and one worship, that's why worshipping the Shambhu, or Shambhu is in the spiritual realm, and he is also known as Shiva in this material realm, and also Rudra is known as in the material realm. The Rudra or the another forms of the Shiva who causes, he is the cause of the annihilation. When he is Rudra, then he started to destruction or destroy. That's also a potential. That means he absorbs everything. The Shiva absorbs everything so that everything, annihilate and destructs and diminishes. So this Lord comes from the Lord, that comes from the Lord Vishnu, everything, that the same potency comes from in the different forms of the creations. Brahma makes sure that it's all put it in the proper place, and Shiva actually absorbs everything. So it comes from the Lord Vishnu. Brahma is actually put all those in the various forms, and Lord Vishnu maintains everything. But at the time of annihilation, Lord Shiva absorbs everything in the potency. That's the Sangarshan, and Lord Shiva all, as per the directions of the Lord Sangarshan. So this is the Shiva Tattva. It's also another form of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, but Shiva Tattva is separate and from the Vishnu Tattva. So like that, how it is mentioned, the Brahma Samhita, which is mentioned that when a milk is actually put an acid and it makes a yogurt. So like that, it comes from the milk, but it's in a different, now the yogurt is now any more milk, but it is actually come from the milk. Like that, Lord Shiva is the part of the supreme potency of the Lord Vishnu, but there is a separate principle, that's the yogurt. The quality of the yogurt is not the quality of the milk, but it's needed for in this world. So that Lord Shiva is actually in touch with the Shakti, Uma, so that the creation and everything happens and annihilation happens. So this is the principles of Lord Shiva. So here I was mentioning about that how Lord protects his devotees. And we know that when they churn the ocean and this all happens, and Lord Dhanvantari came out. So why Lord Dhanvantari came out? Dhanvantari came with all these herbs, all these various medicines. So that's why Dhanvantari Bhagavan came out even for the well-being of all the living entities. So that's why the first medicine manifested on this universe through the hands of Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari is the Lord's another incarnation, another forms of the Lord, even to protect the people in the world. So then we know that then the nectar came at the last. Then we know that how Lord protects the demigods, his devotees, from the hands of demons. We know that even the nectar gets into the Amrit gets into the gets to the demons, then what happens? They will become immortal and they'll create such a havoc in this world nowadays, like what we see in this world. Such a havoc. There are fight and the war and the problems and suffering, and this is the demoniac mentality. So then think that they are immortal. Then there will be a great havoc in this world. So in order to avoid that, Lodis also took the form of a Mohini, very enchantress. And they enchanted the demons and then took the Amrit and then took away the Amrit from the demons. And that's why when the Lord Mohini, Supreme Lord, took away the Amrit, few drops of the Amrit fall down in 4 places. That's why this is called Kumbh Mela, where the place where there's Prayag, there is Varanasi, there is Nasik, and there is one more place. These 4 places, this nectar fall down, the drops off, and that became immortal. That's why people are coming in every 12 years and various times, different times. They comes to these 4 places and take bath in this water where the nectar fall down, and they believe that they can become immortal. They can become, attain the Supreme Lord. They can free from their all, the sinful reactions. So that's because of its fall from the hands of the Lord, and then it's very considered as very, very sacred, and that's where this Kumbh Mela happens on these sacred places like that. So sacred places, pilgrimage, there will be a relation and connection with the Supreme Lord. That's why pilgrim, the holy Tirtha Snan is very, very important, so that one who goes there and take bath and glorify the Supreme Lord, they can attain the Supreme Lord because they can purify, and then they can attain the Supreme Lord here. So like that, Kurma also manifested to protect the devotees like that. Varahadev, that there is a Shweta Varag and, the Rekta Varag and Shweta Varag, the red Varag, the boar incarnation and the white one. And we know that the complete pastimes of the Lord, that how the Lord protects the Mother Earth from the subterranean planets. When Hiranyaksha took the Mother Earth and put it under the subterranean planets, and Lord came as Varaha. Varaha, why? So Lord can hold the Mother Earth on his tusk. That's why Lord took that form. And Lord came to protect the Mother Earth. And then we know that again to kill Hiranyaksha, then that is on the different time. The Lord came in the form of Rekta Varah and killed Hiranyaksha in order to protect it from this demon, so that all the demigods, all the pure devotees can live peacefully. The Lord protects and comes down and protects. Then we know that Lord comes down in the form of Narasimhadev. And we know that the complete pastimes of the Lord Narasimhadev. And we know that when Lord came down as in the form of Vamanadev, right? So Vamanadev was here, Bali Maharaj was doing all these penance sacrifices in order to get this entire universe as he saw in his possession. So Lord was actually curbed down that the greed of Bali Maharaj, and in the form of Vamanadev, and just asked for 3 steps. And there's 2 steps, he completely covered everything. He was so gigantic, and he is known as the Trivikrama. And his Vikrama, his great glories, his Vaibhav, and that's called Vikrama, means his Vaibhav, his great strength and great form and great activities, Trivikrama. And then he's known as, then in 2 steps, he completely covered this entire universe, everything, and there is no 3rd steps. So dear devotees, Lord comes down to protect his devotees, and we know that. And then Lord came out as Lord Ram, the Parshuram. And from all these demoniac kings, Lord was protecting the pious, the Brahmanas and the pious people on this planet. And we know that how the Lord Ram came down. And then we also know that then the Supreme Lord Balaram came. And then Krishna and Balaram, and then there is a Buddha came to rescue the people in the form of that. People are killing left and right to the innocent animals, innocent living entities. So Lord came as Buddha. And then also it's mentioned that Lord will come as a Kalki in this age of Kali, at the end of the Kali. It's already mentioned the Lord is already born. But when the time approaches, when time comes, Lord comes as in the form of Kalki and annihilate all these miscreants, and then rescue the Mother Earth and the places, and re-establish the Dharma, that means Satya Yuga, then again come back to the Satya Yuga. So like that, their devotees is so wonderful to go through and understand this, the glories of the Supreme Lord, and one should always remember this, And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9, chapter 22nd verse, Ananyas chindayendo mam ejanamam pariyubhasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogatshemam vahamyaham. Lord, protect his unalloyed devotees. Lord, carry the water that they have, and Lord gives whatever they lack. So Lord is always there, and as is mentioned that in Srila Prabhupada mentioned the purport as Lord always there when the Lord's glories are glorified. When the pure devotees are glorified, Lord is always there. And it's mentioned that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, whenever the Lord Sankirtan is there, the Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally present there. So like that, that's why hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord is there. And there are so many instances out there that Lord is present, personally present there. And when Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken, Lord is present there. When the holy name is chanted, the Lord is there. When the pure devotees comes together and glorifies the Lord is there. There's a temple. When it comes to the temple, pure devotees comes, they chanted the holy name, they speak, Lord is there. So this is the way that, dear devotees, when we take an opportunity to associate with the devotees, and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, chant the glories of the Lord, when we remember the Lord is there. So Lord cannot separate from his devotional service. Lord is there when one engages in his devotional service, dear devotees. Always remember this. When we remember the chant or for the Lord is there. Lord is not separate. Lord cannot go separate. Lord is absolute. Lord is there in all cases. So always remember that. But we actually disassociate from the Lord. Because of our impurities, we don't realize it, we don't understand it. But the Lord is always there when we chant the holy name, when we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, when the Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken, the Lord is there, present there. So always we have to remember this, and it's because of his mercy that we can hear, we can glorify, we can come to the association of the devotees, engage in the service of the Lord. And the Mahatma Vidura was revealing this to the Uddhava and discussing this with the Uddhava, and Sukadeva Goswami also repeating the same to us, same to Parishit Maharaj, and then through Parishit Maharaj to us, that what is the importance of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and also glorify glories of the hearing, glories of the Lord, and glorify the Supreme Lord. This way we all can become purified, and we can attain the Lord's mercy in all time. So with this note, I would end here. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. And it's very beautiful to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wonderful
Hare
class. Very nice, Prabhuji, about Shivji also. Yeah. Nice to hear early morning about glories of the Lord. And
Yeah.
auspicious day.
Yeah.
Just wanted to share, Prabhuji, that you are asking like who is the son of Bali Maharaj. So Virochan was the son.
Virochan. Yes, Virochan was
and the
yes.
fourth place of that where that poison drop, it is that Amrit drop, it is Ujjain.
Ujjain, yeah, correct. So the Prayag, Varanasi, Nasik, and Ujjain. Yes.
Nasik and Ujjain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji,
Thank
for
you.
your
Wonderful.
conversation.
Very nice. Yeah.
Very
Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for putting that. Very nice. Yeah, it's this is the transcendental science that we always have to remember. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, for the Shwet Varaha,
Yeah.
can you explain a little bit in few sentences what is that, and who's Shwet Varaha?
Yeah, of course. And one time in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we also see later in this canto, third canto, there is a place that appearance of Lord Varahadev. And one time, Manu was created from the Brahma, and Manu was looking, and Earth is not there. Earth is slipped from the orbit because of the various, reason, because of there is Earth slipped from this orbit. There is no place to perform his, devotional activities. And Manu reminded Brahmadev that Earth is not there. And then Brahmadev looked at it and says that this is out of my hand. And the Lord Brahmadev remembered the Supreme Lord. Only you can intervene, you can rescue, rescue the Mother Earth. So then what happened? All on a sudden, a small creature came from the nostrils, through the nostrils of Lord Brahma. And it was a little creature, and it's all on a sudden it's appeared through the nostrils, and then it's a varah, it's a tortoise, sorry, it's a boar form, and it started to grow. It's grown like anything. And Lord understood the desires of the Brahma, and everybody started to glorify. Lord was actually just grown up like anything. And immediately Lord just dipped down into the water. He just jumped into the water down and then brought the Mother Earth back to its original orbit. And then Lord just came out from the water. It's called Shvedavara. It's actually in the white form. And the Lord just shook his entire body like boar, when it's the water, they shook. The water were just spread around all over the places. And it's mentioned that when everybody started to glorify, and they realized that this is the Supreme Lord, Sri Mahavishnu in the form of Shvedavara. And in order to rescue Mother Earth, then Lord appeared, and when it's mentioned that when the light comes through the golden hair, the boar, the hair of that the boar Varaha, it was very like a golden, it was glittering like anything, and then it was reaching up to the heavenly planets and go through all these Tapalok, Maharlok, Janalok. Everybody started to glorify the Lord, and then Brahma was also glorifying the Lord, and in order to rescue Mother Earth from the to bring back to the original position, and the Lord took the boar in God, so that on the tusk, Lord is gigantic on the tusk, the Mother Earth is rescued back, and that's the Shvedavara. Then the Raktavarag is actually again that Hiranyaksha was looking for, he became so proud of his strength, and then he was looking for the opponent to fight with. And this is the time the Hiranyaksha approached Varunadev, and they say, "Oh, old king, come and fight with me," and all those things. Varunadev very graciously mentioned that I am not your opponent, O Hiranyaksha. There is a Lord who is down there, and he can fight you. He is your equal opponent. So as soon as he heard, the Hiranyaksha went down into subterranean planets. There, the boar, the Varaha Rupa was there. And in the subterranean planets, that's why we know as Lord was there on the subterranean planet. And then Lord immediately took the form and as a Varag, as this was a Rekta Varag, is a red color. And also Rekta Varag, because of when he fought with Hiranyaksha, the blood which came out from the Hiranyaksha, it's all over the body of the Varag Rup, the Varag, Rekta Varag, and it's also known as Rekta Varag. And they fought each other for so many days. And Lord was actually took this as an opportunity to have his chivalrous, or he had a desire to fight with like that in chivalrous form. And he fought with this Hiranyaksha and killed him. And then that's the Rekta Varag, the Varag group. And these are the two incarnations in two different times. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So in both cases, Varahadev actually saved Mother Earth.
Say the Mother Earth, yes. And it's the time what happened, Hiranyaksha also took Mother Earth, and he stole Mother Earth and took it away. And then, it was on the Hiranyaksha because of and also Hiranya means he was also drilling the earth, because Hiranya means gold. He was so greedy for the gold and everything and drilling down, and so that is actually also fall down. And then Hiranyaksha also took Mother Earth down. And this is the time, the Varaha Rupa appeared, because of the primary mission was to rescue the Mother Earth. And that's the time again, that's the time Lord was taking there, and the Hiranyaksha went there. That's where actually then Lord also came down on the ocean, on the banks of the ocean, and that's where this great fight happened. And then the Lord killed, the Hiranyaksha. This is another, wonderful description.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think Varahadev avatar is again needed, because the earth is still being drilled now.
Yes,
right?
yes. Lord comes down. Yes, that's why this repeated. The Chatur Yuga, that's Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga. Satya Yuga happens, and this all, this happens at the time Lord takes these various forms and rescue these devotees. And Lord always protects his devotees, no matter what. Lord always protects devotees. Yes, Lord comes down.
Yes,
Sometimes
Prabhuji.
people ask why the Lord comes down. Yes, in order to protect the devotees, Lord comes down in various, time and place and circumstances. That's called yugas.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very good.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavad pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. So much of information today that we never remembered. Prabhuji, I had two small questions. One
Sure.
is, Prabhuji, is there in Bible, there is the story of Noah's Ark where he
Yes.
also does, is it the same thing related to
It's
Matsyavatar?
Yes, I mean there is in the Bible also Noah's Ark. It's a similar story. It's a similar with this, and Noah was also the Lord's messenger, and Lord came down and protected Noah and instructed to the Noah that the big flood is coming, the pralaya is coming. You have to do this, make a vessel and a container, and then bring all those selected living entities, and then I will protect you and like that. Yes. This is another version of that story. I mean, I don't know exact. Maybe maybe it's originally it's in our Quran,
Yes.
and it's in the Quran originally, and then it's also came to the Bible. And in the Old Testament.
Oh, okay.
No. Then I think it's New Testament. Yeah, wherever Old or New Testament. Yeah, but it's in the Bible. Yes, Noah's Ark.
Oh, okay. And the second is a little practical question, Prabhuji. Like when
Yes.
we go on a pilgrimage, sometimes we encounter some material unpleasant circumstances. So as practicing devotees, what should our mindset be, or how should our reactions be, or how should we go? In what mood should we be?
So you mean when you say material?
Sometimes we encounter something unpleasant even in dhams when we go, Prabhuji. Like
what do you mean by that? Like there are some people, those who are not.
Sometimes I remember in one dham somebody cheated me of some money. Something like that, Prabhuji. Something will happen in some places. So as devotees, what should our mindset be when we are visiting a dham, or how should the mood be actually?
Oh, good question. Very good. Very practical. Yes, demons are everywhere. I mean, they are the one who attacks the good people. They are the one who attacks the good places. They are the one who attacks, that's always there. Even the demons attacks most the good people at, good places and all, because of they don't want to see that, goodness is prevailing and goodness is flourishing in the places and the dham and all those things. Yes, even though it's a Lord's place, Pragad and Apragad, and the demons also surrounded by it. How many demons came to Vrindavan, so like that. So the demons are always there. So the way, how the mood and all should be that we are taking the shelter of the Lord. We are always good. Tirtha Snan is known as the lotus feet of the Lord. Any pilgrim place is considered as the lotus feet of the Lord. That's why it's very important that we go and take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So even if there is some kind of challenges there, we don't retaliate, we don't take anything as things like that. So we take it as a mercy of the Lord in the sense that, something that was in our life that to happen or to overcome. So to complete. So the devotees always take everything in a positive mode. There is a lot of stealing happens, some people cheat us and some people do that. So we pray to the Lord that, something is which went away from our life, or the karma which is gone away from our karma, things like that. But we should be always, when we approach the mood, even it says that in order to enter into the Vrindavan, we have to pray to even before we go to the Vrindavan, or even before we go to any dhams of the Lord, we should pray to the Lord, because we are entering into the dhams. And we should not see that this is a material place. We should not see that this is very spiritual place. And we should not see that this through our eyes, this is material, this is material, this is material, or this one. No, it's actually, we should not see that anything that is kind of a material there. We should, in Vrindavan, if you go to, we should see Krishna in everything and Krishna in everywhere. So we should always see, and we should always have that consciousness in our mind. And it is even mentioned that even before we enter into the Vrindavan, we have to, many times, when we go to the people, they should take fast. They should be very pure conscious, and they should not indulge in anything material things. They should chant the holy name. They should worship Tulasi Devi. They should chant to the Tulasi Devi, pray to the Tulasi Devi that Please give me that opportunity. Please help me that I'm entering into the Dham, entering into the Dhavan, so that please help me. And this is the prayer even before goes there. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is also mentioned that, the Dham, before we go, we should be qualified in the sense that we should be chant the holy name. We should purify ourselves, not like that, we are going to sightseeing. That mentality should not be there. This is not a sightseeing place. This is not a shopping place. This is not a mood of, seeing the people around. Oh, there is a beauty over there. Big, big temples are there. Oh, what is it? That should not be the mood. The mood is actually to serve the Supreme Lord, and seeing that I'm coming to your Dham, please engage me in your service, in the mood of that I'm in your service. So that mood should be there, and see everything through Krishna conscious eyes. That Lord, the Kadamba trees, we should see that, okay, Lord was playing here. When we see Yamuna, oh wow, Lord was, playing, and Kaliya, the killing, and Lord was his pastimes around this one, and trees and the people, and even we see the monkeys as they were in the pastimes of the Lord Ram's pastimes. The monkeys were there, and they were here now into the Krishna pastimes in Vrindavan. And the cows, when we see the cows, these were the cows and Apragada pastime is also happening there. Apragada means we don't see it, but the Apragada, that pastime is also there. So it's happening, it's keep on happening. So then we should have that mood. And then, yes, something happens like, cheating us, then we should not be bothered about it. And we should be, okay, that's fine. Maybe it is, something that which went away from my life, or, that purifies us. So we should be always conscious of the Supreme Lord who likes that. Yeah.
Oh, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, that is wonderful, because that is exactly, sometimes that question comes, how to react, and we don't want to fall into this material thing like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like a demon comes to capture, right? This is the demoniac mentality. So Krishna is there to protect. How many times demons came and attacked the Gopas and the Gopis, even though they are in Vrindavan? So like that, even though we are in Vrindavan, the demons come and affect us and attack us or some way or other. So what the Gopas and the Gopis did, they went to Krishna. Krishna, protect us. Pahimam, trahimam. Krishna came, and Krishna protect all of them. Like that, we should protect. We should take the shelter of Krishna, in that Krishna will be there. So demons are everywhere, will come and attack. So this is always we should remember. Should always take that shelter of Krishna, and Krishna will come and protect. So and another thing, these are happening to give us more conscious of Krishna, and we should take more Krishna's lotus feet.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Wonderful. Very nice. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, then let's conclude then today's session. Thank you so much. And we concluded the first chapter. Then we go to the next further inquiries of the Mahatma Vidura, and then we go detail. And please join. And this is very wonderful that we go through this Srimad Bhagavatam, especially on early morning. And it's very, very purifying, very purifying. Even, that is purifying me as well, just remembering and recollecting and speaking and hearing and discussing, and so wonderful, so nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's conclude today's session. Let's pay our obeisance to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhyo patidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavvrinda ki jai. Indira Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Gaudi Vaishnavvrinda ki jai. Gauri Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Hari.